Okay, so you have our distance formula in this section, but what I'm really hoping to do is help you to lean on your understanding of the Pythagorean theorem, since we just came off of that, supplement it a little bit with that rather than getting caught up in this theorem. But the idea with the distance formula is that we take our two x coordinates and subtract them, and we square that value. We take our two y coordinates and subtract them, and we square that value. So I want you to think of this x2 minus x1 more like this. Let's just find an absolute value of that distance between them. So let's just start with 2 points in just the horizontal distance. Find the length of each measure. So let's go from B to D. How far is it from -5, which is where B lives, to D, which is at -1, right? So if you can count that I'm sorry, -7, not -5. This is -7, and we're trying to go here to -1. How far is that? Okay, hopefully you can see or count in your head 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the distance there is 6. Now we could use the formula and do -7 minus 1. Minus -1 and take the absolute value of that. Right? And then so minus -1. So this is really -7 plus 1, which is -6, and then we take the absolute value of that. But I think it's much easier just to picture this on the number line and count, okay, rather than using the formula. And that's the same thing I'm going to do when we get to Pythagorean theorem next. Again, let's try to lean on our number line sense. From D to G, where's D? He lives at -1. Where's G at 8? How far is that? Hopefully you can start to picture in our head that to get from -1 to 8 is a distance of 9. I mean, we're more than welcome to look at the graph and count if we want. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But I don't feel like it's going to be necessary for us to add and subtract negative numbers and take absolute values to do a lot of these. Okay? Let's look at another one. From A to F. How far is it from A to F? A lives at -9, and F is here at 3. How far is that going to be? From -9 to 3, hopefully you can see that's going to be 12. We got to go from -9 to 0 is going to be 9. Plus another 3 is going to be a total of 12. Let's try this one. To get from E to F, E is here at 0, F is here at 3. How far is that? Just 3. Okay? All right, so let's try the next 5, 6, 7, and 8. Let's try them on our own and put our answers into the Edpuzzle. Okay, so let's look at 5. So hopefully you said for B to G. B lives here at -7. G is out here at 8. Hopefully we came up with a distance of 15 for BG. How about for AG? A is here at, let me erase some of this so it's not as busy. A is here at -9. G is all the way out here at 8. So how far is it from -9 to 8? Well, we'd have to go 9 to get to 0, plus another 8. Hopefully we said that that was 17. Okay? How about for BE? To get from -7, which is where B lives, to E, which is at 0, would just be 7. Okay? And then finally DE. From D to E, we're at -1 to 0. We should have just said 1 for D to E. So now we have the distance between 2 points. Okay? This is just going to be Pythagorean theorem. So just follow along with me here. I just have to do the same thing 2 times. I have the distance in the two x's. From 0 to 6, do like we just did. How far is it from 0 to 6? It's 6, but remember, the Pythagorean theorem says we have to square that. From 0 to 8, how far is that? That's 8 as well. Remember, Pythagorean theorem says we square that. We're going to add these two together, and then we take the square root. So this is 36 plus 64. We take the square root of that. That's the square root of 100, which is just 10. Okay, let's try another one. It's going to get a little bit trickier when we have negative and positive numbers. We're going from -2 to 3. just like we did on the number line previously. How far is it from negative 2 to 3? It's 5, but we have to square it. This is Pythagorean theorem now. How far is it from 3 to 15? That's 12, but we have to square it. So I have 5 squared plus 12 squared. This is 25 plus 144. And I'm going to take the square root of that. It's the square root of 169, which is just 13. Okay, let's try a couple of more. I'm going from 1 to 9. How far is that? Think of the number line like we just did. It's 8. So we have 8 squared. From negative 2 to 13, how far is that? That's 11. Oh, sorry. No, it's not. Yeah, from negative 2 to 13, not 2 to 13. From negative 2 to 13, that would be 15, right? 2 to 0 is 2 plus another 13. So I have 8 squared plus 15 squared, and I have to take the square root of that, so that's 64 plus 225, and that's, we're going to take the square root of that, so we get the square root of 289, and that is a perfect square. The square root of 289 is 17. Okay, let's do one more together. From negative 12 to negative 9, how far would that be? Don't get tricked by the negatives. It's only a distance of 3, right? You're moving from negative 12 to the right to negative 9. That's only a distance of 3, so we have 3 squared. From 2 to 6, how far are we going? 2 to 6 is 4. So Pythagorean theorem says to square those and add them together. This is 9 plus 16, and we will take the square root of that. That's just 5. Okay? Try number 13 on your own. And you're going to put your answer in the Edpuzzle question. Okay, so hopefully we got the right answer for this one. It's 15. Right? 15 to 0 is 15. 20 to 0 is 20. So we have 15 squared plus 20 squared. So this is 225 plus 400. That's 625, and oh, let's not forget we got to take the square root of all of this. Some of you are probably yelling through the screen at me. Where's the square root? Square root of 625 is 25. Okay? Try the next one on your own. Okay, so hopefully we got the right length from negative 12 to negative 8. That's just 4, and we're going to square that. From 0 to 3, that's just 3. And we square that. We're adding them together. This is a simple Pythagorean theorem. 16 plus 9. And we take the square root of that. Okay? How about this one? Don't be afraid if we get a decimal, that's okay. We're going from 11 to 6. How far is that? That's 5. So we got 5 squared. From negative 12 to 2 is 14. So that's going to be 14 squared. We're going to add those two together. And we have our square root. So it's 25 plus 196. I get 221. And I'm going to take the square root of that. So the square root of 221, I don't think that's a perfect square. I get 14.9. Okay. One more. How far is it from negative 2 to negative 4? That's just 2. So we have 2 squared. How far is it from 10 to 3? That's 7. So I have 2 squared plus 7 squared. This is 4 plus 49. 53. And we need the square root of that. It's going to be a little bit bigger than 7. 7.3. 7.3.